Hey everybody, it's Matt here from OK Aussie. It is actually Thursday 26th of December at 1:55 PM, 23 degrees outside. This is Dyan and I'm Matt. Dyan's just going into a neurological episode at 1:55, seizures. And this has come on pretty rapidly. She's just been to the toilet. She was just giving me some indications that she wasn't feeling all that wonderful. But anyway. I'll get you some medications. Just gonna bring the temperature down a bit. Ian, it's Matt here. Can you come down to the unit, please? I've just got Dyan going into an episode right now.
No worries, mate.
Thanks, cheers.
No worries.
Bye. Okay, we'll be nausea. Current time's 1:57 PM. Pulse oximeter's just been applied. Ondansetron 8 milligrams sublingual. 1:57. Ondansetron applied. Front door to the apartment building has been opened up so that they can access directly. .4. 37.5 is febrile. 37.4 is as close as we're going to get to febrile temperature, so she's quite warm. Going to bring the temperature down. The running type leg is part of the dystonic action for Dyan when she does that. It's alright, Willow. Don't be scared. Hey, how you going? Just going in for a couple of minutes now. Just giving someone dancetrons, so from an anti-nausea perspective, she's just going to a bit of dystonia action with the legs. There's seizure camera on there, camera behind recording scene. Going to apply some medicinal CBD. Go. 0.5 mils CBD THC combo has been applied. You doing okay, babe? Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, there may be shattered glass here, so just watch your hands. The problem with those ampules is that they're glass and they shatter.
I don't think it has, mate.
Yeah,
No,
the
that's
top's
yeah,
broken
yeah.
off. Don't worry about that. Okay, midazolam's prepared. Not going to apply it immediately. Current time's 2. Let's have a look where you're at. Oxygen stats are at 94, heart rate's at 84, so accelerated. So with the body doing internal seizing, we expect the heart rate to go up by about 20-25 points.
Right.
The body's 37.4, so it's close to febrile temperature for a fever. So I'll just turn the air conditioner on just to bring that down a little bit at the moment. She is flat. If she rolls, she'll roll to her left-hand side as she seizes. If she seizes. Just removing the pressure care stockings. Hey you, coming in and out.
Hey.
Tucking in and out here. No, Bella, that's what I said, you've got some extra medications which you're going to get into. Needed to decrease the sodium valproate today because of how she's been reacting neurologically for the last few days.
It's bad last night.
Yeah, it's quite a significant one. We've got dystonia through the face at the moment. We need to be careful with laryngeal or diaphragmatic dystonia, is any respiratory issues. Dystonia coming on both left and right foots with intern. Postural variation in the left hand, slight postural variation in the right hand, so focalised dystonia. As soon as she's able to swallow, I'll apply additional medications. I want to give her a clonazepam as a muscle relaxant first, and she can swallow, and also give her sodium valproate just to bring rosy levels up ASAP. If that resolves it all, then we won't need to apply. Syncope, time 2:02. Hey, you stay right where you are. My leg's just gone into a cramp. 95 and 85, so heart rate still remains elevated by about 25 points. Really well. Heart rate's coming down from 80, 78, 77, 76, reducing. Oxygen stats are good at 96, you can stay right there.
Hold her there.
No, she's alright. Yeah. Just mid hamstring for me just went out. Been sitting for the last 3 hours doing all the seizure management documentation, isn't it? Ironic. Updating seizure medication, seizure plans, personal emergency plans. The irony is ridiculous.
It is, yeah.
Sit up. There's a lot of aspiration and choking and breathing difficulties last night. She's still seizing through the upper thoracic, diaphragm. Okay, you come back to me. You need to sit up and I'm trying to give you something if you can. Yeah. 204. Here's a tablet which I need you to swallow. Is it coming out of the pen? I'll put it in. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try and get you ready to go. That's it, place it in. Very good. The worst thing is to try and get a medication down intra-seizure set, but it's the only way I can give that type of medication. I don't have it orally. Good girl. much that's that before I give you 5 ml draw sodium valproate. Stay with me. Done. Stay with me for a second. Yeah. Oxygen stats are at 95, heart rate's at 80, so we've still got it quite high at the moment. Sweetie. Good girl. Just gonna give you this now. Alright. Just need you to swallow it. Yeah, hold that first. Yep. Just rinse it in the sink in the bathroom. Pull the plunger out a couple of times, drawing water in, and then dish it out. Yeah, good girl. You're a good girl. So nice, sucks, doesn't it? Alright, so we've just given 5 mils of midazolam, equivalent to 200 milligrams, just to bring that level up. Clonazepam 2 milligrams. Okay, I'm just going to see if that helps to reduce it before I give you midazolam, okay? So I'm just going to hold off on that one. So midazolam is go-to emergency ASM, anti-seizure medication. What I've done now is give some clonazepam, which will help with dystonia in the next 10 to 15 minutes. It will be a muscle relaxer. I've given her some CBD, which will also help from the seizure perspective, nausea. She's had some ondansetron for nausea. CBD will help with the pain. And bringing the additional sodium valproate in will hopefully start to increase the therapeutic levels. They're not fast acting, it's just part of the setup of trying to reduce your overall Tonic-clonic seizure 207. Yeah. I thought we were going to do more of these today. Take some slower, deeper breaths for me. That's it, go slower. Nothing deeper. And then keep Dyan in a fixed recovery position just because of the strain that puts upon her neck with the CCI and the upper back injury. Oxygen stats are great, 98, heart rate still quite high, 95, 75, 76, but slowly reducing. Dab. Yeah. It may be, I'm just going to see. Current times 2:09 PM. Reduce the temperature a little bit as you're starting to shiver. The additional shivering might also entice additional seizures, so it's a balancing act between temperature, getting it right, Goldilocks. Not too cold, not too hot, just right. I'm going to bring you up a little bit. About 30 degrees, okay? Good girl. No, cold.
Is it going?
Maybe. We're hoping it is, but we're just going to monitor. We got caught out by saying that last night a little bit prematurely. The shivering may be more of a cold inducement. It's kind of a light blanket to keep it warm, but not too warm.
Muscles are definitely starting to relax a bit at least.
Yeah. First of the major yawns, 2:10 p.m. Sorry, Neil, every time I look that way, I'm looking at that clock. That's my master clock. Even though we have lots of clocks around the house, I use one clock as a focal clock so that the time is accurate. Timing is important to know when something starts and finishes, or if medications are given. Certain medications will use Google Home Automation just behind me to set timers. And if there's no response, then we know to go to either the next level or additional dosages. So sit quietly, no talking. We'll just take a blood pressure. Do a slight squeeze in your right arm. Dyan's oxygen stats are down to about 81% saturation last night. Currently sitting nice and high, 98%. Heart rate's still a bit higher than I like to be at 74. Things upon in this rested state, she should be around about 55 beats per minute. But we expect it to be high because of both the dystonia and tonic-clonic seizures accelerating.
Yeah.
So blood pressure. Now, if it was for me, I'd be going, hey, yippee, 120/76. That's what our ideal is, 120/80. For Dyan, that's not her ideal. Her ideal was actually worked off her baseline. Baseline for her is 85/60.
Oh, really?
So that tells you that her
High.
blood pressure at the moment is very high.
Yeah.
High indications of pressure, circulatory issues, but in this case it could be pain, and of course the activities coming from it. So we'll remeasure again in about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Room temperature is dropping down. It's currently 23.3 degrees. We use an internal thermometer to see where things sit. And because febrile seizures are quite common in about 25% of the time with patients with 22q, which is the chromosomal disorder that she's got, all the seizures that Dyan exhibits, generalised tonic-clonic, myoclonus, absent seizures, focal aware and partially aware, as well as the dystonia and dystonic storms, are all very atypical for people with 22q. Sorry, but I know I'm going to be a pain in the neck to you. Pupils are equal, reactive on both sides, and at about a 4 to 3 letter size. And then let's have on the breathing side of things. Please slow it down. You're going to work on slow, deep breaths. Do you want a sip of the drink at all? No, that's okay. Do you want any Ventolin puffer to help open up the airways? No, that's fine. Second yawn, 2:13, should indicate the end of the seizure sets. The dystonia seems to have settled down, which is great. But we just want to bring your blood pressure down. We want to see you breathing a bit better and heart rate to reduce. Indicating pains around the left sternocleidomastoid. Neck instability has been occurring all night and this morning with pain. So she's most vulnerable at the moment because of all that. When it does it out of the way, we're not going to apply the next level of emergency meds. Note to self, glass vials snap. You can have a pillow. Okay. Just your neck to lay out a bit. Alright, shivering. Take the temperature off. Temperature is now off. It's going to be a little bit groggy most likely. Alright, quick little check of your mouth just to see if there's been anything going on inside. Ask you a couple of quick questions. Tooth on your right lower back molar. Right side. Okay, good. No indications of cuts inside the mouth, so there was no biting action. Head pain? Anything across the top? Okay, top and central. Okay, so frontalis and temporalis regions, both sides. Typical after a seizure event, normally will disperse within about 5 minutes. Do us a favour, wriggle your toes for me. Great. Good motion on both sides bilaterally, so there's no paresis post-seizure event. Okay, chest, any chest pain, heart? You're doing really well. We'll settle down very, very quickly for you, okay? So one of the conversations that we had last night after the very lengthy and multi-set, so status epilepticus, rolling seizures last night, very reduced oxygen saturation levels, like I said, very, very low for her, staying low in the 80s quite considerably through that whole period, was the need to increase the amount of sodium valproate that we're giving her baseline medications. Sometimes difficult with her to actually get that baseline increasing. Now she's below therapeutic levels of what we ideally want her to be for her Epilin, but the problem with that is it also causes other side effects which are not harmonious. Epilin sucks, and it also has increased the amount of dystonia, which in itself causes other problems. So again, a bit like the temperature of the room, we're trying to find that Goldilocks level of what is right for the level of medications that she is having or taking. So I've given her orally, because of the bowel medications that she's been having the last 2 days with the GI tract gastroparesis, the absorption of the medications orally is not working very well, whereas liquid works better for her. So I've given her a dosage now of liquid Epilin, but we're going to increase the dosage of Epilin today just to see if we can get on top of all the hot weather, all the moving around. It's a lot of stress for her, all the GI tract stuff. All of these things are key triggers. More seizures. So summer for us is seizure season, unfortunately.
Definitely,
Does not help her at all. And of course, moving house, new faces, Christmas events.
Oh, it's a lot
It's
going
not
on,
just relaxing and chilling as she needs to. She's coming around, which is good.
No, it's a trigger of a lot of things, mate.
Oxygen stats are nice, 97, heart rate's reduced back down to 67, 66, that's what we want. We don't want it up at 80s and 85s, we want it back down in that 55, 65 range. We'll do blood pressure again in a couple of minutes, but you can see the raspiness now, mild aspiration during the seizure exercise, it's going to cause that raspiness of the throat, probably for the next 24 hours to be honest. But as long as she's getting good oxygen intake, that's what we want. The yawns, her body's trying to suck in a lot of oxygen, plus she's trying to relax. Remember, her clonazepam, even the medicinal CBD, all of those will help relax her body. So
and just the tiredness of the having the seizures in the last 18 hours.
You know, last night was a very, it's almost like if you go to an aerobics class and you do high impact aerobics. Well, that's the sort of equivalent.
We had a good chat to Ellen this morning about
good for handover.
No, we did for a long time and had a big chat because Neil was quite experienced in certain levels with oxygen. And we were pushing for the oxygen, like you spoke to me a couple of weeks ago. So she's gonna. I don't know if she told you, she's really going to push when they get back to work. She's mentioned that. She's got some contacts, which is great, because we've been just struggling with accessing the medicinal scripted oxygen. You can't even hire it.
No, and this is the part of the problems around it. We are scripted for Dyan, so a respiratory specialist has actually scripted her for the volume, flow and time. Because of the seizures, she actually needs a continuous flow rather than a pulse dose delivery. Pulse dose is actually triggered by your own breathing. In seizures and with dystonia, you may not be able to generate that pulse. So it's involuntary, so you need to force that oxygen down to be able to receive. So there's the two types of delivery. We need a device that's also portable, so battery operated. So when we step out of here, because it's quite commonly when we're travelling and going to clinic appointments or going to the shops or going into hospital, funnily enough, one of the worst places, 80% of her seizures occur at hospital because it's the whole get her prepared, travelling there, waiting, and she's upright, sitting around. And you could be doing that for 3 or 4 hours. It's the worst non-conducive environment.
It's never a nice place to go.
No, it's never nice anyway, at the best of times. So that doesn't help things at all, unfortunately, for the poor thing. So by having a portable oxygen concentrator, we can do it. Because even if you go to clinic or hospital, they can't deal with seizures in clinic. They have to send you to the ED department. So you're still calling a code blue, gurney, travelling through the hospital to get to ED without them managing. Crazy. So we have to self-manage even in medical clinical environments by having these things. So that's what we're trying to obtain. Medical and supplementary oxygen should be applied when it's 88% or below. Okay, now I'm getting down to 82, 81, sitting there averaging, and for long periods of time. You know, when we're looking at the stats this morning on the reports, hour and a half in one of these exercises where she is below those levels, an hour and a half with body not getting enough oxygen. What's that doing to the brain? How's it helping with the
dangerous,
organs
yeah.
themselves? It's not good at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for most people with 95 and above, normally 88, 98 should we say, and 100 with sitting there, that's great. But for Dyan, that's going to add to fatigue. It also doesn't help with getting circulation to the rest of the extremities. Hence why we'll see more dystonia and other actions in the, or the paralysis in the extremities like the feet. Poor little bugger.
Yeah, anything under 85 is getting quite serious.
That's what you,
isn't
yeah,
it?
exactly. And look, in
Yeah.
some of the seizures, and that's out of the normal day of the day, seizures can go down as low as 70% oxygen saturation for her.
Yeah.
So the concern is how long for. Now, that's why we do the recovery position. That's why we'll run that risk of watching the neck, being careful about the fact that it could cause issues with both the neck, upper back, where we've got impingements on those vertebrae, and the damage that could possibly occur, to maintaining appropriate position, but also opening up airway and getting the stuff out so that we don't have any choke in aspiration. Right, ma'am, we've got two things to check.
Just buggered, eh?
Yeah, tired. Yeah.
You must be tired.
Yeah.
At least the damn outside weather's cooler.
Yeah, absolutely.
A couple of days.
Currently 23 degrees outside according to Google.
Yeah.
Alright, 36.7, so we've actually come down from 37.4 down to 36.7, so happier at that. We just want to see how your blood pressure, now remember it was just on 120
120.
over 78. We want to see if it's going to actually come down.
A little bit down.
We want to see it in the 90s back there for you. Now, because her upper back is elevated, we expect an elevation of between 5 to 10 milligrams in blood pressure reading. Yesterday we were using the Ventolin and Spacer just to try and open up the airways, respiratory was. Spacer really helps because it actually improves delivery by about 40-45%. So a couple of puffs into that.
We didn't have one child without a spacer in respite. That's
Brilliant.
how much.
Mm.
That was when it changed over.
Right.
And they were telling us the percentage were massively better.
Massively better. So we've just had a
Come
drop
down
of
a fair
20
bit.
points in blood pressure.
That's
So it's
good.
now 101 over 63 and heart rate's at 60. Both of those are very happy readings for what I want them to be.
You know,
That's
the
why
spacers
simple
are
is-
gold, mate.
Yeah.
I was an asthmatic as a child, and these are just really, really
Absolutely.
good. Yeah.
It's amazing how many people still don't think about these things. Now, even if it's portability, you're out high, you want to just, you can get folding ones out of cardboard, which you can just
Yeah.
pull out, crack open and put on the end of a puffer, and again, improving, getting the air in.
Yeah, no, it's a lot more successful. The blood pressure's come down, which is very, very good news.
Yeah, happy campers on that one. What I'm not happy with, I've only just finished doing the seizure log. Now I've got to add another one to it.
What?
I know, right? I'm just about to print them all off and it's like, you're getting more data for me. That's
You have a
alright.
good doctor here.
Yeah.
We'll have to start calling him Dr. Matt. I
No,
think.
you won't call me doctor. Just don't call me late for dinner. That's the thing that you don't want. Poor thing.
Procedure.
Let's take this off you now.
Yeah, it's pretty full on.
You are nice at 96, happy campers oxygen, and 65. Alright. Yeah, get rid of that. We don't like all these sensory things, do we? And show us that up and I'll put that back on the computer a little bit later on. We use the laptop with a program to actually download the data from the watch and that generates the reports for us to actually see averages, peaks and troughs, how the heart rate is going, what period of saturation, which is really important.
Right,
Clinical
condition.
information.
Yeah.
Only thing is the clinical team need to actually use that clinical information to be able to support it.
To be more accurate, yeah.
Yeah, that we really think. What we've seen, particularly in the last 6 months, is the increase of the dystonia, which is quite acute muscular contractions for Dyan. Now, sometimes they're quite simple, but it's the foot turning inwards or the hand getting into a weird flex position. But the generalised dystonia, particularly that leg thrashing. So it goes away from maclonus, which is just like a little flick of the leg, into generalised dystonia. It's almost like she's doing running on the spot. But you can then see the contractions coming through abdomen into the diaphragm area, larynx. But the facial ones, you see these weird, really weird distortions. A lot of this seems to be exacerbating, I feel, her ability to swallow, to clear airway. And then also associated to that is her ability to get more air in, and dystonia, particularly laryngeal dystonia, and obviously diaphragmatic, which is the diaphragm dystonia, will impede that ability of that muscle to contract and do what it's meant to do, to work in the whole breathing.
It'll lock up a bit.
So they are really major. It's dystonic storms are a very risky medical complex action. So again, rare. How many friggin' rare conditions can she have? I think it's 6 or whatever else at the moment she's floating with. But when you go back to the literature, the medical literature on 22q, 11.2 deletion syndrome, all of these things are expected. 80% of patients with 22q will have some sort of seizure, seizure-like or epileptic condition. Okay, and that'll be presented with generalized tonic-clonic, the myoclonus, with absent seizures, focal, either aware or partially impaired, and a lot of them will have the dystonia. She is atypical to the condition. So once you actually know what the condition is genetically, then you go to what are the medical guidelines. Is she presenting? She's presenting with all these things. And it's just like, well, it's not rocket science.
Well, that's been very consistent with her toes and feet. The last time we had that Christmas party and I came down,
you saw that.
that was 5 or 6 times. It always happened in the toes.
Exactly.
Today was exactly the same.
Yeah. Did you, I don't know if you were able to, and you got to be quite close up, but you may not have been able to see the face distortions.
Well, it almost goes in.
Yes, it does. Sometimes you'll see the jaw. A lot of time we check also, has she dislocated with the TJM, transmandibular joint up here. That's quite common for her, and she might be overbiting or underbiting the jaw because of that intense contracture of those muscles. How was your jaw feeling, by the way? Good. High five on that one. Yeah. Now, rest of your thing: neck, shoulders, back, neck sore, left hand side, mid cervical. We will extend that out and do a bit of traction in a moment on that one. Just going down the spine, throat. Okay, that's going to be from the raspiness, unfortunately.
My feet are cold.
Okay, well I can put some socks back on you, but I'm going to leave your
Pressure
stockings off just for the moment. Okay, I know. But you can put your feet underneath the blankets if you like. We'll actually get that doona on you and get you warming up a little bit. You're a cold fish, aren't you? Fish out of water.
Yeah, it gets hot and cold, doesn't it? I mean, you need to bring the temperature down.
Correct. So she struggles with the thermodysregulation, and you can see it's just, it's almost like you've taken her outside into the direct sun and then brought her back into air conditioning. And this is her own body. Now, again, autonomic system is greatly affected because it's a neurological condition. So the way the brain is actually trying to tell the body to regulate, and of course that also ties into your circulatory system. So if your heart's not pumping the blood flow correctly, which also means the oxygen flow to all organs, you're also not helping the cooling system of your whole body.
Right,
so hence why she's thermodysregulated, and we've got to keep you sometimes warm, but sometimes also we need to get you cooler, just like with your temperature during that seizure. Febrile seizures in patients with 22q is about 25% of the time. That can be the initiator towards seizures actually starting and commencing.
When they get too hot.
So that's the thing we've got to be mindful of. Sadly.
Feeling a little warmer.
Much.
Warm here.
You're warm here.
Cold.
Cold
My
here.
body.
Yeah, but your neck's really sore,
my
isn't
head.
it? What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this stood up. We're going to do a bit of traction work on you.
My neck.
Yeah, on your neck, across the bed. So I'm just going to lower the bed down. I'm going to cycle you around. I can give you something for the gum if you want. It's going to become an ulcer. Yeah. So if you do a bit of salt gargling, salt washing, that'll help. We do have some like the baby gel stuff that you can use, but she doesn't like to use a lot of the things for ulcers and things in the mouth. I think again it's an autistic thing for her. We have the stuff, but she doesn't like to use the stuff.
The old salt water's as good as anything.
Salt
It
water
might
is
heal us quick, but it's
exactly
definitely healthy, huh?
Yeah, you're good. I'm going to throw this over that part though.
There.
Okay, so around about C4, C5.
Yeah.
Yep. No worries.
Feel that right over your toes?
That'll be great because the toes and the
Yeah,
part that's the most cold for her.
It's
Sadly.
freezing my feet.
Now, unfortunately, you can't do any of this while she's having ongoing tics or
My
dystonia.
hand's cold.
No, but your feet were, and that's why I put the socks back on. Your
Okay.
hands are actually going quite well. Gentle little bit of traction just to lengthen out. So Dyan's got about 4 sets of impingements going down her spine. Funnily enough, again, when you go back to 22 q lesion syndrome, because it's a central or midline disorder, it means basically a lot of the children as they're developing prenatal or in the early years, things that are in the midline don't always work. So that's why you get palate deformities, you might have heart deformities, but you also have a lot of spine issues. So she's got scoliosis of the spine, so curvature of the spine. She's got the CCR, the cranial cervical instability up here in the cranial section of the neck. And she's got 4 key points of impingements where it's worn down, the disc vertebrae in between, which is meant to be that soft padding, has either deteriorated or squished down. It's causing the bone to rub. Then there's actual deterioration from the rubbing on those spinal points as well. So she needs to see an orthopedic surgeon. The shoulder, I'm going to get to in a moment. So let's not do both at the same time. She has a lot of tension through the trapezius muscles and the delta, which is your shoulder, and that comes through into the sternocleidomastoid, the muscles that mainly stabilise the neck region. So first of all, you've got to actually get those muscles to relax off. If they don't relax off, it's like they're holding on tense. Yeah. And if they don't let go, well, what can you do anything with the spine? So you've got to relax those parts so the bones can actually then go back in and click in the positions where they need to do. And of course with dystonia, because it's that hyper, I'm doing this tense thing, and you've got to be very careful because if you try to almost like unbend it, it's like you're snapping. You can cause avulsions, muscular tears. So you've got to get to a point where she is relaxed in those areas first, and that might take a bit of time. And then you've got the traction, which is just lengthening. Yeah, feel that tension point right in there. That's where you need a little shih tzu massage. We do have just in that bottom cabinet there a massage gun, so it's actually quite good mechanical. So the top one up above, up to your right.
Oh, yeah.
And next one to the other side to me, right hand side. Yeah. See the black case? Grab that out. We'll use that. Just unzip that for me there.
Use it in
I'm not going to need it in your teeth because your teeth will rattle.
Yes.
Cool. So this, with that one, comes in. Power it on. Yes, it's all battery powered, and that's quite well. Power on in this point. So you'll see that. I'm not going to get your hair. But what we're also going to do is get bone. We're just going to work on the more thicker bodied muscles. See the ticky action of the left arm that she's still got engaging with.
Not in my teeth.
Not going near your teeth, Bubba. Okay. That's why my finger is here. It becomes a knock point protection point for you. So sometimes we've used the TENS machine. TENS machines send electrical stimulation to the muscles to also relax them, but TENS machines can also be contradictory because you're sending electrical impulses that can also stimulate epilepsy in people as well. So that doesn't always help us. Some of the things that we'd like to use or have used in the past aren't always, can trigger other things, yeah.
Hey.
That's in your jaw. Everything vibrates through.
Ow, my hair.
It's my finger.
Oh, wow,
setting, timing setting, as far as the frequency as it goes, oscillation level. This is actually still quite low, but it's also the pressure of what I'm actually applying, so I'm not pressing deep into it. My hands are below, so I can actually feel the vibration of it through what her body's getting.
Yeah.
So if I know a tumour, like, so she's so small framed and she doesn't have much meat on her, so you can get to the bone very quickly.
Yeah.
It's like tenderising. All we need to do now is put her a marinade and we'll be able to cook her. It should be fine.
Is that loose?
So that is looser. Yeah. I can feel it with my thumbs.
Yeah, the massage you'd be getting rid of that knotting.
Yeah.
Soften it up.
Yeah, ice obviously helps things like the inflammation. Heat obviously opens up and loosens things up. But both of those have also got their own related issues. If we do too much sensory, so like if I was to apply an ice pack just temporarily to do hot cold treatment, which is actually useful in dystonia, unfortunately it can also then set off her nervous system into seizures after just having a seizure. So just because you want to try and heal and fix certain things, you've got to be careful that she's not fully out of the woods yet until
Doesn't
it's totally healed up, but you don't want to re-trigger that again. Yeah. So it's like last night, even though we finished the first major set after status epilepticus with about half an hour of seizures, she had about a 10-minute window of no seizure activity as far as tonic-clonic. She was doing dystonia. But I was applying in the first aid component, I was using, what did we use? Air conditioning. I brought the air conditioning because I was trying to re-stabilise her body temperature. It was too much. It was too sudden a blast. And that reset more tonic-clonic seizures into further sets. Oh, it's loosening up nicely there though. I like that.
That was a click.
That was a click. Definitely. Now, gentle stretching. Stretching is our friend in a couple of positions. So just straight up and down the midline, looking forward. So it's just pulling the tension, because a lot of the tension comes from those back muscles, coming all the way into that point on the head where the occipitalis is, and that draws a lot of pain. So if I can just loosen up by stretching that out gently. All stretches should be slow and long, lasting about 20 to 30 seconds. So nothing fast, nothing ballistic. Just slowly easing in. And what that does after 20 seconds, it releases what's known as stretch reflex. The body naturally has this is self-preservation to protect the joints, but you have to do it for 20 seconds. And that's only then, after 20 seconds, does it relax. And what you find is you feel like a and you can go a little bit more at that point in time. But you've got to wait for that point to do so. That's good. And then go slightly on an angle, chin to chest, 45-degree angle off center. Right, so that's where we identify that you're still sore. And then we're going to go the opposing way. This helps us to work out what sections of either the spine or the muscles need the work. So you can see that this side, we're not getting that same immediate reaction, but the opposing side is really working on the impingement component. Now she should be getting a guided ultrasound needle, cortisone injection into the neck, but she won't do it being autistic. She has a sensory fear of having a needle in anywhere in this space here.
Yeah.
She needs it because she needs to actually get that topical reduction on the inflammatory and the pain relief prior to then looking at other surgical sort of options with orthopedics. But this is one of the challenges of someone with autism is, even though you know that will benefit, is how do you get around the sensory challenges
It's a different
of
reaction.
doing something along those sort of lines. So there's more, it's not so much fear and anxiety, it's just a sensory overload. It's like, why would you want to put yourself into a sensory overload to try and achieve something? Her fear, of course, with it too, and look, anxiety and fear is built into 22q. It's one of the known aspects, clinically or 22q. It's what if she moves? What if she's having tremors or a dystonia while the needle's actually going in for something that you have to be totally still for because you've got to be so accurate? So that's a natural sort of fear and concern and reaction. You know what I mean? Still rocking a bit. Some places it's good. Some places have relaxed. Other places aren't behaving as much as I like.
Yeah, the sensitivity is so much higher in areas, isn't it?
We were talking the other day also about pain thresholds and pain tolerance. Some people get those two sort of things confused. It's like they say, oh, you've got a high pain threshold. Well, threshold is the point where you start to feel pain. Then tolerance is how much pain that you can withstand before it becomes too annoying.
Yeah.
So that interchange of words is quite important. So the tolerance, she's got an incredibly high tolerance. She can put up with. Look, a lot more females can do that. All the males, even childbirth and all that rendered in that sort of sense. So your tolerance is incredibly high. Having a painful condition, particularly EDS, or connective tissue disorders, but that is pain. You wake up every day, 7 out of 10 pain before you even start the day.
Yeah.
So she's very used to pain, but it doesn't mean that she should be feeling or dealing with pain. So that's where getting things like, how do we persuade her or help her to go through things like getting a guided ultrasound, cortisone injection on the neck to deal with that. That's the challenge that we need to work on so that she can actually be assisted and get the help that she actually needs.
Yeah, it's a pity they don't have another option other than the cortisone injection, because it is quite intimidating for everyone.
Oh, absolutely. And look, it's also short term, and this is the thing to realise. Like, I've had 5 now on my elbow, which is a carer's injury. Wish it was a golfing injury, but it's a carer's injury for me from lifting and whatever else. 5 injections, they last. Used to last maybe 3 months, then they last about 2 months, now they last about a month before it's worn off and you've got to
so you get more immune to it.
But also at the same time you do get more immune to it. Depends on the delivery of accuracy and then also what damage may be occurring to those tendons or ligaments while you're having an injection, because injections give you a bit of a false sort of sense of protection. You know, you can become a little bit superhuman, going, oh, this is all good, I'm not feeling it, but are you doing damage to those tendons and ligaments during that? So that's why you should still be wearing your brace, you should still be carefully warming it up, still not overreaching. But for me, it's like every time we have to move house, it's almost, I've just had an injection, and then I go into moving house, it's like I do more damage to it every time. So now, we're not moving house again, are we?
No, it's pretty good here. This is a good facility. The longer we've been here, the more we realise that it's nice and quiet overall, other than the doors, but the people are lovely.
Kindness is
We need energy to look after,
Yeah. Oh, we're feeling the tiredness. It's like even yesterday afternoon, I was starting to fall asleep in the mid-afternoon. It's just like, I need a little nano nap. I literally needed a 15 to 20 minute nano. I'm so overtired. But if we look at it, the 3 nights beforehand, each night had been 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. This is autism. This is what it comes out as, it presents as, is, you know, insomnia, difficulty for sleeping, and Dyan dealing with, you know, seasonal issues of what Christmas and everything else invokes. It means that her normal medications for sleep don't work. So
and the change through this season
transitions. You've got to remember autistic. Exactly. So she's had the transition of moving home for Christmas, New Year. Absolutely. Let's take both your arms. Let's get rid of that because it balances you. But yeah, you're right. New Year transitions, any of these seasonal transitions. Moving home's a big transition. So
I think this is the transition.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
But at least it's a good transition long term. At least you're in a
that's
place
right,
you
yeah.
want to be.
Oh, look, and look, even positive stress is still stress.
That's
You know,
absolutely.
That's something to think of and always remember.
Well, it still takes time for that transition, so there is stress attached to it.
Transition still has to.
And it'll take probably a couple more weeks, but at least you're in the right place now. Whereas before, you're going back into a place you didn't like. So
sorry, I know. Tapping out. Let me get to the shoulders, please. No, yourself.
Ow.
I know. Sorry. Good girl. What's wrong with your right rib side? Okay. Bone or intercostal?
Bone. I think. No, it's still stiff there. We're going to work on it slowly. There's no rush in this. I just recovered and now I've gone back again. Today. Start again. You were
doing so well using your neck brace, weren't you? So
Yes.
we'll be applying magnesium cream, so it's a topical cream which works really well as an anti-inflammatory and pain relief to the neck. She's been using her soft collar, cervical collar, just to provide stability, but also take away that need for the muscles to lock in and try and provide that stability, which helps to relax and allow the joints to click. She's been resting up, and then of course all you have to do is have the next seizure, and it's all out of whack again. Rinse, repeat, start all over again, poor thing. Okay, just not playing, you just stay still for me. Okay, range of movement is impaired, we haven't got full flexibility as we normally would like. Because remember, Dyan's got a hyper flexibility condition, loss down loss, which is also another rare condition, but it comes from 22q. So you have a restriction of range, so we've been missing by about 15-degree rotation compared to the right hand side. So there's still something impinging and locking that in, just in here, eh? This is worth it. Thank you very much. Sorry, Papa. Once I've loosened up a bit, we'll apply some cream and we'll put the soft collar back on. Okay. How's your head now? Has it settled down? Okay. And your nausea's now gone away?
Yes. Oh God.
No, so no steady breathing's really been nice and stabilised and you haven't been coughing and rasping, so that's settling down. Keep it really loose for me. Relax. That's okay.
And doing right out.
Mouth's still locking up at the right side. That's okay. It'll take a while to come out. Now the muscle relaxer will continue to work in that one. We can't give Dyan too many anti-inflammatories. So normally we say things like an NSAID or an ibuprofen, but that'll actually make it even more flexible and other things will pop out and stick out. So magnesium, I'm going to put some cream under right now. Alright. Ian's going to pop those two things away for me and back. Yep, squeeze them back. Let's get some cream in. So we actually have two sub-products, a pure magnesium oil, which is a spray. So sometimes into the hairline, when you can't get a cream, you can actually put the spray in. But I prefer the MSM cream, which is a magnesium supplement cream. Stronger magnesium complement.
You told me about these magnesium creams. I went to a almost because of the back, and I used the liquid, which would be similar to the spray, and it did help.
Does it?
I still think the cream would be better.
I think cream's better.
I think
it absorbs better subcutaneously more than anything else. Even just the actual exercise of applying it,
Yeah, that's
getting
what
more hands on,
I
so
agree with that.
it works better.
They didn't have the cream, but I thought I'll try the liquid.
It's not that easy to find in a lot of local pharmacies and things like
No,
that.
that's what Dyan was saying.
We get ours from, I heard online,
Yeah,
which is from America, majority. Very cheap. I mean, I heard it's probably about 40% of the cost of what you'll find in the Australian, even the bulk discount chemist warehouses and places like that. So, got a lot of American brands, direct to door, so it's quite easy. You get discount codes.
$23 for the 250 mils.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's such an expensive area, isn't it, when you think about pharmaceuticals and all that.
Oh,
They make so much money out of it all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you got to be careful you get the right stuff.
Is that good?
That's a bit.
My neck is clicking.
The hanging position is actually a good thing to do, not in the 45 degree, but if you actually hang over the bed, and you take all weight off it, and your head's very heavy. The actual head bone itself, the cranium, very, very heavy. But if you actually lay like that and just do that gentle side to side, it's one of those really good things that can help to unlock. Going to your hairline. Well, we were going to try and do things like the vacuuming and the mopping today, but it was just too much of a sensory overload and sit yourself up now.
It's alright, we're here for the next few
So,
days, mate. So
Tomorrow, we'll put that on the to-do list.
yeah.
It's going to wrap up the recording of this.